This logo looks like a goth chick's tattoo. 53 seconds of logos. A talking head scene with a character explaining their backstory as narration's annoying cousin.
My parents, if I were defending them, which I'm not, had said back in the day that he had an impatient eye. They didn't like him.
Not too many parents in the world who would like a substitute teacher putting the moves on their teenage daughter. Also, Loretta still doesn't seem to understand why this would be a problem despite now being a parent.
My parents looked me up on the internet, asked to meet their grandchildren.
So you decide to send your kids off to meet your parents and you don't show them any pictures or have a quick chat on the phone?
They're good people.
Good people that you've hated so much you haven't spoken to them in 15 years.
I'm on the text with 2 separate girls.
Explain on the text?
Yes, please do. I may be old as but I know that's not a thing.
Your phones won't work all the way out there. You'll be home Saturday.
Quick, cram in some expositional sentences before the mother leaves. Also, how does she know the phones won't work? She hasn't been there in 15 years. Technology has come a long way, lady.
You know, I used to be a pretty good actor.
Oh my,
This ticket collector is unbelievably chummy. It's almost like he's here to drop a not-so-subtle hint about the twist at the end of the movie.
I'm chilling again. I'm feeling again. I'm like Iron Man and Batman. I'm a hero again.
Well, I have no problem if this kid dies already. Also, this movie dedicates too much time to this kid rapping. I looked away for a second and thought my computer decided to change to Maddie B. Rap's YouTube channel. 2 people we find out later are crazy and can't remember anything somehow make this appointment to pick up the kids at the right place in time.
She's a good cook.
How could she know this? The food in that container is clearly unconsumed, and she just got here.
This is the perfect cinematic image to open the documentary.
So are we just watching all the raw footage, or did she want her documentary to be extremely meta?
Wait! Wait, don't touch it. Just let it organically swing.
This goes on for some time.
Let it organically swing.
The perfect cinematic image to open the documentary includes her brother weirdly smiling behind the swing.
There's the clock that she told us about.
Their mom explained the clock in great detail, but never got around to describing what her parents look like.
Why are your pants so low?
I rap.
Okay, 2 things. His pants are on normally, and I rap is not a suitable excuse for low pants. I know plenty of people that wear their pants low and don't rap.
The girls, they like me.
This goes on for some time.
You remind me of a pineapple upside down cake. Ho!
I guess in freestyle rap, you don't actually have to rap about the topic. You just have to say it at the end. Also, ho? Why would he drop a ho bomb around his grandparents?
By the way, there's mold in the basement. We don't want you guys to get sick.
It's good these kids know nothing about mold, because if they did, they would know mold travels with the flow of air, which would screw them up regardless of where they are. Also, Becca doesn't find it odd that there aren't any pictures of Nana and Pop Pop around their house. Pretty sure Nana and Pop Pop are not paying for broadband internet, making it impossible for them to have a perfect HD Skype call with Mom. I guess they're trying to get their money's worth for Catherine Hahn.
Walmart sales associate's going to be on the world's largest cruise ship.
I bet literally thousands of Walmart associates have been on cruise ships.
This is the first camera that Mom found in the damaged goods bin.
Movie narrowly avoids me sinning them for this 15-year-old daughter of a Walmart sales associate owning this camera, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Kid does a SpongeBob impression. What kid does sit-ups in flannel at their grandparents' house? Read a book or jack off in the bathroom or something.
I've decided to use female pop singers' names instead of cursing from now on.
This seems sexist somehow.
Becca, T-Diamond Stylus?
Every adult humors that kid to an insane degree, even the insane people. This haircut is known as the child actor. I'm now worried that I'm going to be forced to share a jail cell with Jared Fogle. This is another similarity between the movie and a Royal Caribbean cruise. Well, it appears the Amityville horror obsession with chopping firewood infests all horror movie villains.
You need me?
Manufactured swoopy sound to create a jump scare-ish, because the filmmakers remembered they were actually trying to make a horror movie. How is he able to scoot this fast and not hit his head on anything? This doesn't seem possible. Nana saw the ring. For a feeble old woman, Nana has a pretty good crab crawl.
I used to be an actor back in my day.
The only reason I can gather for Bob Costas over here to harass this girl about his previous acting experience is that this is some kind of hint that Nana and Pop Pop are acting like they are grandparents, and that makes me sad. Also, he and the Amtrak guy both leave out the most important part of that line, "It's a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury signifying nothing," which basically sums up the movie.
Tell them there's a lot of excitement down at the hospital. I can't wait to tell them. I know they love gossip.
And by excitement, he means that 2 of the patients are missing? Because that sounds more like a legit problem than excitement.
It smells like ass in here.
Shouldn't he be able to correctly identify the smell of human feces? I mean, we saw him going to the bathroom on the train.
Oh, shit!
Exactly. And all signs were pointing to this being a filled pile of diapers. It smells like ass, there were flies buzzing over this mysterious pile, and you saw what looks like Depends. You had that coming, kid.
He hides his accidents in the shed, and then I think he burns them out in the field. He's such a physical man, he gets ashamed.
This is the most depressing horror film I've ever seen.
This was young Loretta's high school.
Wait, why aren't these kids in school? There's no Thanksgiving or Christmas decorations anywhere, so it's not like it's taking place over a holiday break. Did their mom just yank them out of school for a week to visit total strangers so she could hop on a boat and f*** her hot boyfriend? I see why there was a rift in the family over Loretta's shitty decision-making. An escaped mental patient beats a man in the middle of town in broad daylight and totally gets away with it. Maybe if the hospital didn't refer to dangerous people escaping their care as excitement and gossip, cops could be on the lookout for this exact kind of thing. Also, did they just throw that camera in a puddle? Not only can it collect footage all day, but it's also waterproof. Good find, Mom. This movie is a lot like Paranormal Activity, only with way more naked grandmas.
It's called sundowning.
If it's called sundowning, then why is 9:30 the magic time, and not like 6 or whenever the sun sets in the winter up north? If you're going to murder a couple people and take over their lives, it's pretty important that you pick people who wear the same size clothes.
I spilled some biscuit batter on it. I tried to clean it with cleaner.
Nana isn't great at making her vandalism look like an accident.
I downloaded the definition of sundowning.
Why? She downloaded something she could have just looked up.
It's got to do with neurological reactions to sunshine and moonlight.
I did my own reading on sundowning and got different results that are mostly related to Alzheimer's, but then again, I didn't download anything.
Just come to accept they're old people and things won't be as weird.
That's racist.
That's so weird, I can't see you.
I looked it up. Wi-Fi to access Skype on a Royal Caribbean cruise is $25 a day. This Walmart associate is totally wasting our money.
I knew we were gonna have this call. You're old, Tyler.
There's a huge difference between regular elderly forgetfulness and a shed full of dirty diapers. Also, her parents aren't that old. They're in their early 70s and active and lucid enough to volunteer.
The hairy chest competition's about to begin. I can hear the cougars clapping.
And later, guys, I'm gonna have unprotected sex with that dude who isn't your dad. His penis is huge. Anyway, see you later. Is Nana coming on to me?
Nana, could I ask you about Mom?
For the first time since I got here?
Would you mind getting inside the oven to clean it? I'm too big.
Nana was just standing next to Becca, and they are definitely the same size, so this is just an odd request to build tension that leads nowhere.
All the way in.
How deep is this oven? Also, are we supposed to think the grandma is a witch, Hansel and Gretel style?
Where did you first meet Pop Pop?
In a garden.
Becca's next question isn't, could you be a little more specific?
Nana? Nana.
Becca is acting pretty chill about what could possibly be a seizure. The camera just toggled focus, even though no one is operating it. Maybe it's the ghost that this movie isn't about.
I hope things don't get weirder, because I'm at my limit.
I hope you don't rap again, because I'm at my limit. F*** you, Nana.
I know, but Dad is hilarious. That's funny. He sent the funny car to the fat lady on the boardwalk.
He sounds exactly as hilarious as a uniquely annoying 13-year-old boy. Can't imagine why Nana and Pop Pop hated this guy.
Your sweater's inside out. Did you know that?
They're in the middle of the f***ing road.
I refuse to use anything that has my dad in it.
So I guess she doesn't realize that her dad is in the footage playing behind her, making the current footage unusable. Nana and Pop Pop keep conveniently leaving right as people stop by. Even though I'm happy this woman isn't reciting Macbeth right now, it's weird that she's ignoring the camera altogether.
They hear all that scuttlebutt down at Maple Shade?
I don't think so.
So there was no follow-up on the scuttlebutt? Wouldn't a normal conversation be this lady explaining to the kid about the escapees and then she and her brother running the f*** away?
She's laughing and she's watching TV.
Wouldn't Becca know at this point that they don't have a TV? I feel like the first thing teenagers would do upon their arrival is find the TV, especially if their phones don't work.
I have the deep darkies.
They're like the blue meanies, but racist.
I was just cleaning it.
That's what I always say when someone walks in on me while he's holding a gun. We needed a reminder that this kid is a germaphobe because we are all so bored we forgot. This is M. Night Shyamalan's attempt to break into the paranormal activity genre of horror, but he forgets to add any paranormal or any activity. Okay, that's a pretty good jump scare, but let me ask this question. We find out there's nothing supernatural going on. So how does a crazy old lady in a trance know the camera is there in the dark? And forms a plan to jump scare the shit out of anybody who watches the footage? I mean, ew, she didn't see that camera. And after that, she was no longer pissed at the camera and politely put it back where she found it. Also, why didn't we see the kids' reactions to the jump scare? Isn't that the important thing here? Wouldn't that be entertaining to watch? Hey, I have a great idea for a show called Kids React.
We're ending this trip tonight.
Better idea, end this trip right f***ing now.
Yeah, I used to run around the factory at night. Only I saw it. Started telling people about it and they didn't believe me. Had yellow eyes.
This is the scary movie M. Night should have made. By the way, while we're sitting here watching footage of Becca's documentary, why hasn't she sent her mom any of it? Yeah, maybe she doesn't want anybody to see it until she's done with it, but it seems like if she wants more answers, she'd try and show her mom some of this movie. Stacy doesn't immediately leave and contact the authorities to tell them that the crazy people who are missing are living in the house of the nice elderly couple who are also missing. Also, a girl who is certain these people killed the actual grandparents willingly walks behind the house. And apparently she is murdered without the kids even hearing it. And hell, these kids are curious enough that I'm shocked they didn't follow them with a camera somehow.
I know a story. It's about water.
Is M. Night Shyamalan trying to remind us that Lady in the Water happened?
These creatures spit into the water. Their spit can make you sleep. Creatures from another planet have many people at the bottom of the pond. They are going to take them back to their planet of Sinmorphatalia one day.
Becca is not acting like this is the weirdest fucking thing she has ever heard.
What are you doing?
This is how children play, okay?
Method acting. Conveniently, or inconveniently due to how much time it took them, the kids figured out a way to get the dry batter off the webcam just in time for the movie's finale. Why they couldn't do it earlier is beyond our comprehension.
Becca, Tyler babies.
A sane mother would have asked, who the hell are those people 2 minutes ago?
Masonville Police Department.
Also, why call the Hick police directly? Her children have basically been kidnapped. Call 911. They could send a wide array of first responders to the house. I think fake grandpa just got coked up.
Could you clean the oven for me, Becca?
Since Becca cleaned that oven 2 days ago and she just found out these aren't her grandparents, I feel like she has a pretty good excuse to say no. Nothing comes of this, yet we are still bothering with it. This is a small girl, but that oven door can really hold some weight. They just don't make them like they used to. Bizarro Nana and Pop Pop murdered Stacy in the middle of the day and hung her corpse from a tree, but the kids don't see it until right now.
See? He's using strategy. A Milton Bradley approved strategy.
This game was made by Hasbro, Pop Pop.
Sometimes that guy can be a teenage girl. Also, is her desire to be right really so strong that she'd contradict an insane murderer right to his face? I choose to believe she actually got Yahtzee. Also, scaring with your mouth open. And that's why you never volunteer at a mental institution. Also, I find it really hard to believe that she couldn't smell decomposing bodies. It doesn't matter how cold it is down there, you would smell something.
Wasn't it a perfect week? I promised her it would be.
Well, they had to murder someone else, and they didn't have cell service, so it was fine. When does Tyler get hit in the head, and why didn't we get to see it? I would have enjoyed that. Pop Pop is playing with fire now, freeballing with fecal incontinence.
I never liked you.
Understandable. He heard the rapping. Knowing where Nana Claire is at all times seems like a must, yet here we are getting more establishing shots of the room.
You have a problem with germs, don't you?
I don't think anyone needs to have a problem with germs to find this disgusting. Is Nana gonna turn into a butterfly? Just push her off the bed. She'd for sure break a hip. Movie steals the Deus Ex Machina from Tangled. Putting your victims in a suitcase or hanging them from a tree is old news. Cannibalism is the new thing for Nana.
Eyes on the runner! What is hips? What is hips?
A past sports failure is overcome, and comes in handy at the final moment to stop the bad guy. Also, the exact same thing happened to the Joaquin Phoenix character in Signs. This is a very specific motif. I think M. Night Shyamalan is trying to exorcise some pretty hardcore childhood demons. Someone check his Little League records. Her camera can really withstand that beating and still record. I want to find this garbage bin with magic cameras in it.
I hit my mother, and then my dad hit me.
That's it? That's the incident that made her hate her parents for 15 years? She started it.
They reached out to me soon after. I refused to take their calls.
For 15 years. Incredible. This lady is a real piece of work. Hope her kids know never to fight with mom or she'll cut them off until they die.
Don't hold on to anger, Beck.
What a false equivalence. A teen girl who hates her father for abandoning their family is a totally different thing from a teen girl and then a grown woman in her 30s who hates her parents for telling her she has a boyfriend, who, by the way, they were totally right about. Also, I'd be less concerned about Becca and her brother holding on to anger at their father than I would be about them having just killed 2 people. Just because it's self-defense doesn't mean they won't need a boatload of therapy. Reading. Movie ends with more 13-year-old white boy rap, just in case you were jonesing after the other 2 times. Also, after an ordeal like this, wouldn't Becca's documentary be like a huge hit movie? Wouldn't they be famous? Or is this one of those dime a dozen fake grandparents who escaped from a mental institution and posed as someone's real grandparents type of stories?
You have a problem with germs, don't you?
Tickets, please, tickets. Well, you're coming?
Josh? Josh, is that you down there?
Kelly Clarkson!
I never liked you.
I don't like you either.
Tell us something we don't know.
No, my name is Bart Simpson.
William! I forgot to tell you. Your mom called. She says you gotta call home immediately. And she says to tell you, I know what's going on.
Rot the arms! Rot the arms!